Hello and welcome to episode 37 of Not Quite Nerds. We're going to ask you to not suck any dick on your way through this podcast this week. And we're going to dive headfirst into the world of Kevin Smith. We're going to explore everything from the original Clerks right through the View Askew universe into his venture into horror, that we call it horror. And we're going to point out how Kevin Smith managed to turn conversation into movies. Much like us just talking absolute nonsense throughout all of his films. And, of course, they're the inspiration for the whole thing. So, with 37 down, 30 in a row. And if you know, you know. Welcome to episode 37. I'm Matt.
I'm Luch.
And I'm Mallory.
Can I just say that we're not even supposed to be here today?
We're not even supposed to be here. We're genuinely not.
We literally are not.
Yeah. There we go.
But
See?
I assure you we're open.
Much like Matt's legs, every single weekend. I assure you were open, but much like Gemma's, the shutters are firmly down.
Fuck. Motherfuck. Noise. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Noise. Smoking weed, smoking whiz, snorting coke, drinking beers, rolling fatty, smoking blunts. Who smokes the blunts? We smoke the blunts. Rolling blunts, smoking. $15, little man, put that shit in my hand. If that money doesn't show, then you owe me, oh, my jungle love. Oh, yeah.
So I kind of wanted to start off today with a question to you folks, and that is, when did you first find Kevin Smith, and what was your first Kevin Smith film that you saw?
Ladies first.
I genuinely had no idea. I definitely watched Kevin Smith in high school, but I don't know what my first was. They always say you don't forget your first time, that I did. I don't know. I don't know if it was just went straight to Clerks, or I feel like Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back was really big. When I was in high school, or maybe even middle school, because it just came out a couple of years earlier. But I remember a friend of mine would go around saying, like, calling every girl he knew boo boo kitty fuck. So it was just part of like our little pop culture that I just truly have no recollection as to what got me into it and what I started with. But I think I watched nearly everything that was available by the time I finished high school.
Okay.
Sorry.
Mine was a similar time frame in my life. Obviously, a very different time frame to you. I remember watching Mallrats on a Sunday night. So BBC Two used to do like a indie movie night on BBC Two, and they would put a movie on like 10:30 right the way through, really late. And it was Mallrats, and I remember watching it and immediately falling in love with Jay and Silent Bob as characters. These two sort of random stoners who have very little to do other than being key cogs in the story development. Like things don't happen unless they show up, make them happen. And I remember thinking how amazing it was that happened. And I went into school the day after. We were in sixth form at the time, and I was talking to my friend, and he says, "Oh, they've got other films, and they've got comic books and stuff as well." And I was like, "I'm in." And then I spent the next 18 months tracking down Clerks on VHS because it was that hard. And I eventually had to order it from Virgin Megastores. This is probably pre everyone having the internet as well. Having to order it on VHS, and that being a much loved thing. And I can even remember sitting down with my dad and trying to get him to watch Clerks, and he's like, "I can't watch this. This is awful." So that must have been like 99.
Okay.
1999. Yeah.
What about you, Luch?
So I think my first actually was Chasing Amy.
It's not a bad one.
It definitely was in high school, probably like freshman, sophomore year of high school. So obviously it was several years after Chasing Amy came out. But I just remember a friend telling me like, "Oh, you'd really like this movie."
it's about this guy, he's a comic book, he falls in love with this girl, and then like, but they have like a will they, won't they, and then he didn't tell me like the whole plot of why they had like this like weird relationship, or not weird relationship, this volatile relationship. Um, and I really enjoyed it. And then he told me, and then obviously learned about at that point so much other stuff had come out. Dogma, Mallrats, obviously Clerks. I think I went back to watch Clerks, which probably was also on. Maybe it was on VHS at the time. Maybe it was DVD. I don't. I'm not entirely sure, but my video store still was carrying both well into the mid 2000s.
Yeah.
But yeah, it definitely was Chasing Amy, and that introduction of Jay and Silent Bob, where I didn't, obviously having no context, did not understand the two characters at all, except for they were the inspiration behind Blunt Man and Chronic, who Holden was writing the comic books for. But then this character Silent Bob gives the longest monologue in the entire film, which I just thought was ironic. And then finding out that that's who Kevin Smith actually is. He's playing the silent character. I don't know, just like all the irony just molded into one, especially knowing how much Kevin likes to talk.
Yeah, I think that's the intriguing thing, isn't it? Is that we know, having seen him on stage multiple times, is a talker. So the irony of him playing a character that does not talk is not lost on the fan base.
I think he did it on purpose because he knows himself. And when he did Clerks, he only had limited time, limited funds, limited film. And if he was going to go on a rant every time he opened his mouth, they were never going to finish the movie.
Yeah, I mean, he always said that he wrote Dante for himself. Like, Dante was who he was supposed to play in that film. And then he realized that he couldn't actually fit all of that in, and directing and editing and working and doing all of those things. So he sort of fell into the character of Silent Bob, the counterweight to Jay, which is, I suppose, what they've been their entire lives, especially cinematically.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole point. You've got the counterweight to it. But his films, obviously, they changed the filmmaking landscape as well, because it showed that you could make a film for $27,000 and that film could set you up.
Or the equivalent of $27,000 in 1993.
Yeah, the equivalent. Yeah, I suppose.
I'm pulling up the inflation calculator.
There we go. We're gonna go with the inflation calculator. So yeah, I think he showed. He was certainly an inspiration for me as a young person who wanted to make film. That you can do it. It can be done. There's a possibility there for you to do it, and this guy did it. And you were always told when you were writing things as a film student, write for the location you can have. Write for that's a horrified look. Go on. Inflation calculator says
$685,000 today.
$685,000.
Oh wait, sorry. I put in 1993 and it didn't accept it.
Okay.
I kept it with 1933.
Okay, that's good. I was like, Jesus. He's still making films for that.
No, only it's $61,700.
Okay, so $60,000 these days. Yeah. But I mean, you were always told, write for the environment you can access, write for the things that you know. And Kevin Smith was the living, breathing example of that. He wrote about the store that he worked in. He wrote about those things. And I think anybody who's ever worked in the service industry, especially in retail, appreciates the yin and the yang of Randall and Dante in Clerks. It's that idea of who you have to be in a service role and who you would like to be when those customers have pissed you off.
This job would be great if it wasn't for the customers.
I believe it's just fucking customers.
Yeah.
Do you remember when we got told off at Blockbuster because we put up the sign?
Yes.
If you intend to shoplift, please let us know.
Please let us know. Yeah. We did get yelled at.
Area manager came in and did not see the humor in it. And we were like, clearly you're in the wrong job because you don't understand this film reference. Yes. Clerks started it all. And then not long after that, he introduced us to Ben Affleck. Through Mallrats.
As Shannon, what's the character's name? Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna screw you in a very uncomfortable place.
Like the back of a Volkswagen?
Such a good line. Yes. So we had Mallrats that followed that up, and as I said, that was my first first experience of Kevin Smith.
And that was a fairly big budget film that he had no clue what to do with. So
Yeah.
ended up just using that money to buy the rights to a shitload of music.
Yeah, I think he said that, didn't he? He was like, they gave him so much money, and he was just like, what we couldn't do on Clerks was spend money on soundtrack because we didn't have the money to spend.
Yeah.
And he's like, here, they were like, you can make this film. And he's like, okay, but I only need this much to make it. I can spend the rest on music, and I can have real music in it, not just local bands from Jersey, kicking about or Russian rock.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Chasing Amy, which was, to my point, he was Oscar nominated for Chasing Amy.
Was he really?
If he wasn't Oscar nominated, it was
Golden Globes, maybe?
Golden Globe nominated for script. Original screenplay. And actually, when you think about it, that's probably, I was going to say his most grown-up movie, but it wasn't, because we've got Jersey Girl later on, which is probably a more adult movie. But he was certainly nominated for original screenplay for Chasing Amy. And that really was a huge film for Ben Affleck. Showed his acting.
Was that his first? Because is this pre Good Will Hunting?
97. Yeah, 98 would have been Good Will Hunting, I think.
Yeah. So this is pre Good Will Hunting.
Yeah.
At that point, Good Will Hunting was already written, and probably shot when this came out.
This is where it gets funny, is because Kevin Smith randomly teased them about the fact that they never thanked him during their Oscar speech, but he's actually an executive producer on Good Will Hunting, because they'd shopped it around the studios, and studios had all said no because they were not interested in these two young actors who wanted to star in a film that they'd written. And he took it to the now shunned Harvey Weinstein and put it in front of him, and Harvey read it and loved it, and so produced Good Will Hunting. And Kevin Smith was fundamental in that. Like, he was the one that handed the script over and said, you should read this, it's really, really good.
Is that why he has the rights to Good Will Hunting 2 hunting season?
I'm pretty sure they were just like, you do whatever you want with it. That's also why he has the rights to Matt Damon and Ben Affleck.
Yeah, that's true.
They're like, I'm filming the Odyssey this summer. Tough. I'm doing Clerks 5. You need to come and be in it for one scene. Matt Damon's like, okay, sorry, Christopher Nolan, I have to leave your set to go do a Kevin Smith thing. But yeah, it's. Chasing Amy is just such a good film.
Such a good film.
Like, just well acted, well performed, well written, but still.
I think Jason Lee is phenomenal in that movie as well.
We forget Jason Lee and Mallrats. Mallrats is brilliant.
Considering
he was a pro skater who was just like, I want to try acting. Nobody would take a risk on him. Kevin Smith's like, I've got something for you. One of the most lovable characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Brody was great, but Jason Lee is incredible.
Before we move on too far, just because we mentioned Harvey Weinstein, I feel like everyone always, there's this idea that because so much of Kevin Smith's early stuff was Miramax, there is this idea about it. But I think I hope you guys know this, because it's one of my favorite fun facts. Since I think 2017, all proceeds from any of Kevin Smith's Miramax Harvey Weinstein movies, he doesn't keep. It goes to women's funds.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it always makes me feel better watching it, because I don't feel like it's going. I know it's going someplace good.
And
and I don't feel skeevy.
And Miramax was sold a long, long time ago to Disney anyway.
Yeah.
So the Miramax catalog was sold to Disney. Dogma being one of the ones they wouldn't take, because they were like, what can we do with this? This just offends half the religion in the world, so we can't take this, and they wouldn't take it.
No. Kevin Smith explained that during his the Dogma re-release.
Yeah.
Miramax did not have the rights to.
Oh, they didn't?
Nope.
No, that was Harvey.
Only Harvey Weinstein had the rights.
Ah, okay. So that's why it never got its.
Right, because at the time that Dogma was being released, it was already being shopped to Disney. So at that time, they didn't get it. And so because they said no, it was only Harvey Weinstein.
Which was why we didn't have the re-release, the digital re-release, all of these things. We didn't have those things because, people wouldn't do it. I remember at one point being like, we should just all chip in. That entire Kevin Smith fan base should chip in and just pay Harvey Weinstein $5 million, knowing it's immediately going to go to his court costs anyway.
Which is why he ended up selling it this time. because Kevin Smith got Ben Affleck and Matt Damon to help pay for when he was trying to buy it the first time. And Harvey Weinstein said no. And then he's now being retried currently. And so to help fund that, actually a fan bought it. So a Dogma fan has the rights to Dogma.
I love it. I love it the way it should be. And as I said, I think as a fan base, we probably could have crowdfunded that way earlier.
Yeah.
And should have. You know,
probably.
But yeah, Dogma's just a masterpiece in itself. It's a fantastic, and I love the clip of Kevin Smith being interviewed by the local news in New Jersey, protesting the film outside of the theater. I think that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That was an SNL type brilliance in real life, and they're both like the reporter's like, "I know who you are," and he's like, "I know you know who I am." Neither of us are going to say it, so we're just.
It's my favorite Kevin Smith movie.
Yeah.
Like we just established George Carlin as a cardinal.
Oh, brilliant.
So good.
Brilliant. George Carlin. Brilliant.
Just full stop. Yeah.
I watched something the other day and there was somebody in it and I was just like, oh my God, he looks so much like George Carlin in Dogma. It makes me miss the man. And I also thought there's got to be a stand-up comedian out there that's could do that. Was it 5 words you can't say on TV?
7.
7 words you can't say on TV? I was like, you can update that now.
You probably could.
You could have a lot of fun updating that now. So any stand-up comedians who might listen to our podcast, there's a sequel for you.
What I think that Kevin Smith does well that Marvel has stolen is it's all one universe.
Mm-hmm.
And so you get the runoffs and the little movies, and then they all come back together, and then you get I'm not going to call them Easter eggs, but you get like the past movies influence the future movies. Like in I was just rewatching Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and in the scene with Carrie Fisher as a nun, on her dashboard's a Buddy Jesus.
Yeah, Buddy Christ. Yeah.
Yep. And they after Dogma, they always refer to God as a woman.
Yep.
And so I think that
who looks
so
surprisingly like Alanis Morissette.
Yeah. They're just so smart about it.
I mean, you go back to Clerks, and if you watch the Clerks X, the 10th anniversary, you have the animated thing about the funeral, where they go to the funeral, and the funeral they go to is discussed in Mallrats because he called her fat. She's the person that's dropped out of the show, and that she's the reason they need somebody to step into the show. So Jory Lauren Adams is jumping into that position because the funeral that they go to in Clerks, she went to the Y and she swam until she died. It's that whole thing. It's brilliant because you're right. It's a shared universe. Way before Marvel were doing a shared universe, at least in cinematic form, which is where it gets clever because we all know that Kevin Smith's a huge comic book fan. So we all know that a shared universe was not something that was different to him. Sorry, Jack's flying cars about. Oh no, it wasn't a car. It was a Pikachu.
Oh, of course.
Of course it was. Just Pokemon. Shared universe. But Kevin Smith had seen these shared universes and he'd seen how they worked. He'd seen how you could read an episode of Daredevil and then you could read an episode of Captain America and how there was a crossover. And he was just clever enough to go, I could make that in my films. And it's how I could justify casting myself in the film. And should I never, ever make it rich and famous, I will always get residual checks every time somebody watches one of these, both as a writer, director, and as a performer.
And as a performer, yeah.
But unlike the Marvel movies, you really don't need to watch the other Kevin Smith movies to get it.
No,
not necessarily. No,
he says there's such good independent films. I mean, even Clerks 2. Like, you really don't need to see Clerks to understand Clerks 2.
No.
Like, yes, there's going to be jokes you're going to understand more, but you could watch Clerks 2 on its own and fully enjoy that movie.
Yeah.
I don't think the same could be said for Clerks 3.
No, I think Clerks 2 and 3 you need.
You need
2 and 3 together.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Clerks 1, you could watch Clerks 2 without having seen Clerks 1.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like his current, like, back to the beginning movies, like Clerks 3, Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, those you have to watch his old movies because those movies are his love letter to those old movies.
Yeah.
So those movies are his way of surviving, being happy that he's still here, and having fun with his friends. So you need to watch the old stuff to make sense.
Yeah, and I mean, the Jay and Silent Bob ones, because they are effectively the Avengers movies. Let's not lie. They're the Avengers movies of the VSQ universe, right? They were all the characters come together. Sometimes multiple actors playing multiple roles because they've been cast so many times in this universe. But we pull all of those together into this one sort of central journey. And that's where you do need to watch those. But you're right. Outside of that, you can watch films individually and not need. I mean, he's got a new Jay and Silent Bob movie coming.
Does he? He's actually coming?
He's talked about it enough. Jay and Silent Bob Star Wars. I was looking prior to this doing research. Moose Jaws is still on the agenda. He's talked about that being back up and running. And I mean, where was I? I think, was it New York? When we went with T? They read it. It was him and Ralph Garman. Was that in New York? I don't know if it was him and Ralph Garman or whether that was in LA when I saw him. But either way, he read a couple of pages of script. But it was also J News. It was the first time. So this was before they'd done Reboot. Him and Muse hadn't done anything in a while. So he read it. And then there was a scene where like they were totally rip off Jaws, where the claws on the chalkboard at the back of the room as they're talking about how to get rid of the shark, and this is the moose, and this time it's Jay and Silent Bob standing at the back, and you were just like, yeah, like well, he's bringing him back. So I know that's on the agenda.
I love to see that.
So that will be the 4th Canadian thing that they do.
Yeah, but that will then also bring Red State, Tusk, and Yoga Hosers into the VSQ universe.
Red State as well.
Maybe not Red State.
Well, no, hold on. What's the third? What are the 3 Canadians? I thought
So
it was
you have
Tusk,
Yoga
Yoga
Hosers, Tusk.
and of course Degrassi, The Next Generation.
That doesn't count. It's not part of the View Askew.
They're in two. They're in.
Oh,
they're
based
in
on that,
James
then, the
Bond
entire
Bob
Scream
too.
universe is in the VSQ universe because they're in Scream 3.
It's true. They're on Scream 3.
And Wes Craven is in Jay and Silent Bob Reboot.
Yeah.
Or Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Which is what they were filming at the same time on sound stages next to each other. So it was one of those where they were like, hey, you come do this, you come do this. Brilliant crossover. Tusk and Yoga Hosers will then become part of the VSQ universe.
The trilogy.
Because Gila Point is going to be in Moose Jaws. So you've got Jay and Silent Bob and Johnny Depp's Gila Point.
So I really enjoy Yoga Hosers.
I think it's great.
I think it's great.
It's a really good movie. I love Justin Long as Yogi Bear. I enjoy the Colleens. I enjoy Lily Rose Depp and her interaction with her both parents.
Yep.
Young Austin Butler.
Yep.
Like, I think it's a fun movie.
It is, and I think like it was exactly what he knew it was going to be, a B movie that you flick through the channels at 11:30 at night and you're like, what's this? It was The Thing, The Blob, all of these sorts of movies that people wouldn't have ever gone to the cinema to see. And it was presenting that, and it was fantastic for that reason. I saw it in what's that one I saw when he was in the UK? It must have been he was with Harley, and they were doing a promotional tour. So that was pretty cool to see as well, see the two of them together. But she clearly is not into the Kevin, let's stand up and introduce all of our films and talk about them loads, because I don't want to be standing here for 3 hours. I want to be an actress who stars in the film, does the promotional work and walks away. But yeah, so we've jumped ahead there with Yoga Hosers. Fantastic. Sorry. We'll get back to Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, the first Avengers movie, in the scale of things, is just so good. So good.
I actually have a question for you guys, because I think I mentioned already, I rewatched it. But have you guys ever had your asshole licked by a fat man in an overcoat?
I mean, Luke isn't fat, but he was wearing an overcoat. I mean, everybody should try it once, right?
I mean, you let us know, Matt.
Okay. I'll go find out for you. I remember watching Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. I was studying A-level film studies, and one of the students in the class, we were both massive Kevin Smith fans. He'd been to New York with his family for a trip It was out in the cinema there, and that was back in the days, of course, where there was like a 3-month window. You'd get it, and then it was almost 3 months before we would get it. And he came back with a knockoff VHS, and it was literally a VHS somebody had recorded in the back of a cinema, and filmed it, recorded it, and that's what I watched Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back on. I did go and see it when it got its cinema release, and it was fantastic to go and see because it was a Kevin Smith audience. Everybody knew the jokes. Everybody laughed at the right moments. It was all those sorts of... At least the vast majority of the audience did. There was people there that were like, what the fuck have I come to see? But, which is something I quite like to do when I go see Kevin Smith films in the cinema, is go see those people and just look about you and say, oh, well, you're not a Kevin Smith fan. You've come because you've seen a trailer. Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
when I saw the re-release of Dogma, like it was in theaters, it was with Kevin Smith, but like it was more money than a normal theater ticket.
Yeah.
And before the movie started, he was like asking who saw this movie in theaters, who's seen the movie, blah, blah, blah. If you've seen the movie more than like 20 times, whatever. And then he asked if raise your hand if you've never seen the movie. And the couple next to me had never seen Dogma. I was like, this is a weird thing for you guys to be doing.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. Maybe you like Kevin Smith and you've heard of Dogma, but like to spend this money without knowing if you like the film, because it's a weird one.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
But,
Yeah.
And then they left before the Q&A, so I don't think they liked it.
I don't think they knew what they were signing up for.
No.
Probably not.
They were like, oh, there's a new good Catholic film coming out. Let's go see that. I bet it'll be like The Covenant.
We also just remind ourselves that we get both Luke and Leia in Star Trek in Strike Back.
We do.
We do.
And I think that was the first time they'd been on film in the same film since Star Wars. Since Jedi, wasn't it? Yeah. So that's unbelievable in itself. And I love when he talks about how he got Carrie Fisher, and he was like, I'd really like Carrie Fisher to do this. And somebody was like, well, have you reached out to her? And he was like, she's not going to do this. I was like, I don't know. Reach out to her. And he reaches out to her agent, and she's like, I'll do it. He's like, we don't have a big budget. She's like, you buy me this table for my garden, and I'll do it. Like, and that's what he did. He paid her with garden furniture. Like, that's the way to get Hollywood deals done.
I mean, it is the most like Carrie Fisher role, I feel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So good.
Such a good thing. Strike Back is... It's just
Strike Back is just so much fun. Yeah. So many people in that movie. Like that, to your point, Max. Like it's like Kevin Smith's Avengers. You know, you have Buffy's in it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
No. What's her face from?
No, the pie fucker's in it.
Huh?
James Van Der Beek and the pie fucker.
Well, yeah, you have.
I'm the dude that fucked the pie.
Amy is in it.
Sorry?
Holden is in it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Affleck and Damon. As Affleck and Damon.
Yep.
Applesauce, motherfucker.
Because he was the bomb in Phantoms.
He was the bomb in Phantoms.
So good.
So Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
Forget Will Ferrell's in it. You know, it's that.
You know what? You're right. You do forget that Will Ferrell's in that movie.
Oh, but he's so good.
Yeah,
he is very good.
You also have Shannon. What's your
Shannon Elizabeth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Playing Justice, but then there's also this meta moment where Jay asks Jason Biggs if he fucked the foreign exchange student on the set of American Pie, who is played by Shannon Elizabeth.
Yeah. No, just a clever, introspective movie. And I think that's what he's been good at, is like that, shining that light on Hollywood. Like Tracy Morgan's in it. You forget Tracy Morgan's in it.
He is.
And Chris Rock, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, Chris Rock makes me laugh so hard in that movie.
As the director,
Yeah. Jamie Kennedy.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
It's just an unbelievable cast.
Yeah.
How he tricked them all into being in it, I don't know. Like, do you think they were like, this is the next big up-and-coming Hollywood director, you should be in this film? And they were like, okay, let's do it. And then afterwards they were like, what the fuck did you do?
But would he really have been considered at that point?
No.
I mean,
I think they all had contracts with Miramax, and Miramax told them they had to be in it.
Maybe. Or was it just one of those things where they walked around the sound stages and they were like, hey, do you want to come and do something fun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's more likely.
Shannon Doherty.
Yeah.
Like, also such like a as I was watching it, you forget all these people who are in it, and then some of them aren't here anymore. George Carlin, Shannon Doherty, James Van Der Beek. And it's always nice to think about like how much fun they would have had making this movie as opposed to like some of the other stuff they had to do.
Yeah. And it
Like
is
there's no drama about Shannon Doherty making any Jay and Silent Bob film.
No, you're right. You're right. Yeah, it is that meta moment where Jay and Silent Bob meet James Van Der Beek and
Jason Biggs.
It's like, dude, you're the Dawson and you're the pie fucker.
Yeah.
The Dawson as well. It's the way he calls him, the Dawson. I love that because at that time of my life as well, I was such a huge fan of Kevin Williamson, who was the writer behind Scream. I know he did Last Summer, but also Dawson's Creek. And there was these two Kevins sort of at that point of my life ruling over Hollywood in my mind. So it was cool to see that at that moment where those two worlds crossed over.
Mm-hmm.
And then we sort of it was a weird one. We took a 5-year break. We didn't. We jumped into Jersey Girl. We took a 5-year break from the VSQ universe and we jumped into Jersey Girl. That's what we did next.
Which is probably top 3 for me.
I mean, as a parent, I love it. I loved it at the time. But my Jersey Girl story is I worked at a bank and I worked with some colleagues and I got on with every single one of them there, but there was one that just we didn't have something to connect over. And I'd gone up to Edinburgh, ironically, first time I ever visited the place that I now live, to see the premiere of Clerks 2. And Kevin Smith was there, and we did all that. And then I'd gone back, and she'd asked me what I'd done over the weekend. And I said, I was up in Edinburgh. I'd been to see this film. I said, he's made other films. And I listed the films, and Jersey Girl came up. And she goes, oh, my God, I'm a single mum. And I love Jersey Girl. Jersey Girl speaks to my heart. And I was just like, she's not in any way, shape, or form a Kevin Smith fan for any other thing. But Jersey Girl spoke to her. And so that's my Jersey Girl story is, like, Jersey Girl got so much hate, so much trash from everybody for all the different reasons, whether it was the J-Lo Ben Affleck split, whether it was, Kevin Smith fans being like, this isn't a Kevin Smith movie. But for me, I've always loved it, as Luke said, top 3. I don't know if I go that, would I go that far?
No, I think, for me, I would. I think one of the best scenes in any Kevin Smith movie that I can recall is the scene with Affleck in the office at the end of the movie, sit next to Will Smith, the guy that he essentially imploded his career over in the first 15 minutes of the movie. And Will Smith just having a conversation with him, just like, I do all this stuff for my kids. He asked me how much I love them. He's like, I love you from here to the table, something really close or whatever. And just that interaction, that realization moment for Affleck's character that, you know what, I don't need all of this stuff. I just want to go back, work for the Department of, housing or whatever, and, with my dad and stuff and just hang out with my daughter. I think that was, I don't know, it's just a really great and powerful scene where, like, yeah, there's some jokes sprinkled throughout that movie, quite a few, there's some funny moments, but just a very wholesome, it was heartfelt film.
I might have to watch Jersey Girl tonight. Might sit down with Jerry.
I've never seen it.
So good. So
Watch
good.
it.
Watch that.
Watch it. The scene where... So there's a really cool scene where Ben Affleck catches his daughter and a young boy from across the street playing doctors. And he sits them down and has a talk with them. And then there's a mirrored scene later on where she catches him and Liv Tyler in a shower together. So she sits down and has the talk with them. So cute. So unbelievably cute. Such a brilliant scene. Jersey Girl's probably the film that has the most heart.
Oh, absolutely. I would say so.
Depth.
I would say, yeah. The only one I think that maybe comes close to a certain degree is Clerks 3.
Yeah, but I feel like that depth is built through 2 other films.
Yeah.
Like, that's the depth that's built through the fact that we've known these characters by the time we get to that point for 20 years.
Yeah.
So, Jersey Girl is just a wholesome, kind, gentle Kevin Smith film. And he talks about it being at that moment in his life where he was a parent, he was learning to do these things, and it was something that was important to him. But I also think it'd be funny now to speak to Kevin Smith fans all over the world who probably at that point were single or dating, didn't have kids, asking them how Jersey Girl feels now.
That's a good point.
Like, as they matured, as they've grown up, is Jersey Girl the film that they think I could sit down with my wife and watch tonight? Yeah. And it's got George Carlin.
Yeah,
I mean,
again.
So then we go back to the VSQ universe. We get Clerks 2. Much loved Clerks 2. Rosario Dawson is perfect in that movie. She
Phenomenal.
is just unbelievable. Jen gets her real acting debut, I would say, after Strike Back, where she sort of is just in the background and has a couple of lines. In this, she plays a more filled out character. And I love Kevin talking about that, where he's like, I've written a character if you're interested. And she's like, I want to be this one. This is who I want to be. And he's just like, but that person's got loads of lines and stuff. And she's like, yep. And his wife is just like, okay, well, I guess that's decided then. I'll speak to the casting director and see what we can do. But yeah, we get Clerks 2, which I don't know. What do you think? What's your opinions on it?
I mean, it's more Dante, more Randall. And I think it's finally Dante coming to the realization that, he's, I think it's kind of the same thing that it's kind of similar to what Affleck's character reaches at the end of Jersey Girl. It's, this is what I thought my life was going to be like. It's not turned out that way, but am I really that mad about it? And it takes him a long time to get to that point. Really up until the end when he finally walks away from his fiance and sticks around with Randall and reopens up the quick stop. But I think it's again just more of that, know what you have, or be conscious and be grateful for what you have.
Stop making it sound like such a grown-up film. I mean, the same film.
These are all grown-up films.
But the film you've just described has no place in it for overly large clits, Lord of the Rings hobbits vomiting on the floor, racism in the burger aisle, and a donkey show. Like, that's what I love about them, is they, as Mallory's just alluded to there, they're all grown-up films. They've all got grown-up themes that run throughout them, but they've also got donkey shows and jokes about overly large clits being the next step before a really small dick.
That's what makes Kevin Smith so good.
Yeah.
That, you get the childish humor that we all have, even the people who don't want to admit they have it, you still have it. Everybody likes a fart joke.
Yep.
But these movies, in addition to having that childish humor, in addition to having, conversations that you would just have with your friends, they have these adult grown-up themes. And I think sometimes when you are watching it as a teenager, you're not necessarily picking up on it, but you're watching it as an adult and it's all kind of coming together. And I think that's why, Kevin Smith grows with you. Good job, Kevin.
Good job. Good job. And then, obviously, in his mature, films for adults sort of way, his next up after Clerks 2 was, of course, Zack and Miri Make a Porno. So while we're talking about adult films...
Literal adult films.
Yeah. Well, still, though, such a good comedy.
Was Zack and Miri Make a Porno the first time that Kevin Smith and Justin Long worked together?
It might be.
It might, yeah. Yeah.
I think it is.
Because I love...
No, actually, no, take that back, because Die Hard 4.0 came out before Zack and Miri Make a Porno. And although they both just acted in that together, that's where they did.
They clearly built a relationship there.
Mm.
I mean, I wrote an op-ed while I was in university that I think I published about how amazing Justin Long is as an actor and how underrated he is and how he should be getting more work, because he's the everyman. He's like Paul Rudd. You can put him in anything,
yeah,
and it works.
But he is a horror movie king.
He's ended up that way, which I think is a shame. I think that was the point of what I'd written, was it's a shame that he's ended up being a horror movie king, because actually I think he's probably being underutilized.
Yeah, I would agree.
Well, horror movies are having a whole like renaissance right now.
Yeah.
So, they're going to turn into adult films too.
I mean, he should have been. He was in Galaxy Quest. Well, that's another masterpiece that he was in. What have you got coming up?
A piece of a movie.
I mean, what's devastating about that. We talk about people who aren't here from Kevin Smith films. Alan Rickman. And they
Have you
talked
guys
about.
ever heard the story about Alan Rickman and Jay Muse?
Yeah, it's so good, so good. Please tell us, Mallory.
So Kevin Smith has told the story about how when that he on the set of Dogma, he sees Jason Mewes speaking to Alan Rickman and kind of just talking at him the way Jason Mewes does. And at one point, Kevin Smith goes over to Alan Rickman and goes, "You could just tell him to go away. Like he'll never stop speaking to you." And Alan Rickman said that Jason Mewes is an American treasure. And Jason Mewes has never let Kevin Smith forget that Alan Rickman says he's an American treasure.
Come, son of Jarrell! Kneel before Zod! Snoochie boochies!
Yeah. So the other story with Alan Rickman is he said to Mewes, like, Mewes is like fucking Hans Gruber, and he's like, no, it's like a real actor. You need to show up. You need to be professional. And so Mewes went away and then came back, and he said he knew every line in the script, not just his, everybody's. Like Mewes had gone away and studied the entire thing, so he knew every single person's line of dialogue in the script.
I'm impressed that he was able to do that at that time.
I know, right? It's an impressive move. Yeah, so Zach and Miri Make a Porno was that era of film as well, where we'd had Knocked Up. We had the whole Seth Rogen bubble effectively going. So Kevin Smith was him sort of stepping outside of his closed universe a little bit. Stepping outside and stepping into mainstream Hollywood for the very first time, wasn't it? And trying to put together like this comedy movie. And again, I still think it's brilliant. I think it's such a good film.
I still think it's good, but it did not have the success that they were, I think, anticipating, especially given the cast that you had.
Yeah.
But
I mean, think about it. That was the end of that bubble.
It was.
And we've not had cinematic releases of that level of comedy. Like we had 40-Year-Old Virgin, we had Knocked Up, we had that whole Judd Apatow bubble, effectively, which was Seth Rogen, Jonah Hill, who else was in that?
James Franco.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We had all of those comedies, but none of them. What studios realized was they could spend $20 million making a comedy movie with these guys, and Knocked Up went out there and made $700 million. And they were like, we don't have to spend huge amounts of money. We just need to invest in these comedies. The problem that we got on the back of that was culture changed, and we entered this more woke period where people took offense to things, as they have with a new scary movie, where there's a whole generation of people going, I'm not going to watch that looks really offensive. And then there's a whole generation who grew up watching scary movie going, it's exactly why it's funny.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to Scary Movie for it making fun of how woke comedy has gotten.
I was just scrolling through TikTok earlier, and there was one, and I can't think, is it Mark Norman? It might have been Mark Norman. There was a comedian, but basically they put in front of a woke audience, all female, and he was telling jokes and stuff, and he's deliberately trying to push buttons, and it's quite funny watching that interaction, because one of them's just like, no, we think we laugh with our friends, we just know where that line is, and we don't push ourselves over that line. And he's like, but that's comedy's job.
Yeah, comedy's job is to push the line.
Yeah, is to make you look at and reflect on society in a way that is different. And that's why we need more films like Zack and Miri Make a Porno and Knocked Up.
But
Zack and Miri Make a Porno 2 hunting season.
Cunting season.
But what we don't need more of is Cop Out 2.
We do not need more of Cop Out 2.
No.
Although I mean, Kevin, the film didn't do as well as people expected, but show me a Bruce Willis film that has, prior to that and since, right?
Maybe Bruce Willis is the problem.
Right?
No offense, I know he's sick, but
I still think it's a funny movie.
No, it has great scenes. Tracy Morgan is phenomenal. Sean William Scott is great as well. But if memory serves, that's the first time that he's directed something that he did not write.
Yeah.
And I think it's the first and only time he's directed something that he did not write.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm just looking at the financials of it. So it cost the production budget was 30 million. So it was also the biggest budget that he's probably ever worked with to that point. It was a proper studio movie.
Yeah, but probably most of that was Bruce Willis's salary.
Probably. You're probably right there. And its final gross it took 18.2 in its first weekend. And its final gross was 55.
Yeah, so it made almost
25 million. But I mean, Kevin says after that, I remember that's when we went to see him in London, right? It was on the back of that. And all the times that I've seen him, that was the most down I'd ever seen him.
He was like depressed. Yeah, I remember him. Yeah.
And he had a really negative experience on that set, and he really wasn't happy with where he was at and what was going on with him. And you feel for him. But I think on the back of that, what he realized was, and I reference, there seems to be a lot of references here to really cancel people, but he's very much Woody Allen in his heyday, where if you give him 5 million, he's going to make a movie that will make you 20 million. And everybody leaves happy, right? Because he knows who his audience is, he knows how to market his films. You know, like when we talk about Jay and Silent Bob reboot, that was out about the same time as one of the Star Wars movies, or there was a blockbuster movie at that time, and it was making more per screening than the Star Wars movie. And that's because Kevin Smith knows who his audience is and knows how to market to his audience. And I think that's what Cop Out gave us. It gave us a Kevin Smith who realized he doesn't need to be making films for everybody when he can make films for his audience. And he can make the films he wants to make, the films he's passionate about. And I think that was the positive experience that we got out of it, was that we had a refocused Kevin, a reevaluated Kevin.
Which then gave us Red State a year later.
It did. Which again, I love. I think it's a great film. Such a good film. Mallory's not seen it.
I've never seen it.
And it's one of those movies that, again, I don't know the whole rights situation, but I remember it being very difficult very shortly after it came out on DVD or Blu-ray for you to actually be able to find a physical copy of it. I don't think it's available still yet on streaming, but I remember talking about this film. Huh?
Plex.
And
I think it might be on Amazon Prime.
Maybe it is now, but I remember at the time I could not find it. I was describing this movie to Steph, saying like, "Oh, it's a brilliant movie, and it's completely different to what Kevin has done. It's this like weird religious action thriller political movie. It's like a Little Things One, and it has, I think, two of the best performances that I've seen in a Kevin Smith movie, or really, you could probably make an argument for just cinema. John Goodman in that movie, is incredible, and I always forget the actor,
Michael Parks.
Michael Parks, yes, Michael Parks in that is bone-chillingly terrifying.
Yeah, and it's based on the what are they called? I can't remember what the family are called.
Yeah, it's the super crazy religious group out in like Utah or whatever.
Hang on, crazy right-wing family. Let me type that in. Let's see what we've got here. But it's based on them, isn't it? It's based on this idea that there's this cult, and Kevin's paths had crossed with them repeatedly. What are they called? Oh my god. Louis Theroux. Westboro Baptist Church. That's what it's based on, isn't it? The Westboro Baptist Church. Which are the guys that came out and protested against Kevin Smith's films. So the Phelps, Fred Phelps and things. And
that's it, Fred Phelps, yeah.
He'd met with them on various points where they protested his films and stuff. And then they protested Red State when it came out as well. and he actually said to the daughter, well, why didn't you come in and see it? Like he left tickets for them to come in and see it, and they left after about 10 minutes because of the swearing and things in it. But she's since left the Westboro Baptist Church, and he's talked about how they've got not like a really free-flowing relationship, but they've got quite an open relationship because she was trapped in this and she was raised and told this was how life should be and this is what she should be into. And then almost through Kevin Smith and her interactions with Kevin Smith, he's opened her eyes, or at least cracked that door a little bit, and she's now stepped through it and left. And it's fantastic to think that like that was a Kevin Smith impact that was had. But Red State in itself is literally that to an extreme, isn't it? It's the Westboro Baptist Church, but it's like what happens if they believe the apocalypse is coming, and so they go on a bit of a rampage, and then the ATF or wherever they're called show up and they're like, this is bad, and it turns into a standoff. And what you actually don't get at the end, you get that sort of semi thing, is you don't know that it isn't the apocalypse coming.
Yeah, you don't know.
You actually don't know if that is happening.
I very much did not know what Red State was about. I thought it was another Jersey girl.
Oh yes, definitely not. Definitely not another Jersey girl. No. And as to what Luke was saying there, when I type Red State in to Google, how did it describe it, where to watch, it was funny because you were describing it and it says horror, action, animated, short, drama, suspense, crime, film, thriller, crime fiction, indie film, action, thriller.
Yeah, it's all the
so many boxes. But that was the first film that Kevin Smith was like, I just need the right amount of people to invest to make this film, and I know I can make money on it. And that was his real step towards that. And he realised that basically it cost him $4 million to make. If he could raise the funds for $4 million, he knew that he could take it on tour in the US and make money off it, and then he could make the $4 million back selling the international rights to it. And that's how he went about it.
I like that he tours his movies, though.
Oh.
Like, I really enjoy seeing it that way.
Yeah. And I mean, that is a model. That is an entirely new model for indie film. You know, he's got that following and things. It'd be interesting to see how he takes it to the next level, and it'd be good to see if he become almost a curator for indie films. That's what I'd love to see as a next step for him, was for him to be able to go, actually, do you know what we're going to do is, I'm going to bring my film, but I'm also going to bring this filmmaker's film. I'm going to bring this, do you know, introducing people that way. Not that that's his role, but, you know, it'd be nice to see if he could give a little back. And then Red State, obviously the success, lack of success of Red State. I suppose Red State was a success. As I said, it cost him $4 million to make it. It definitely made more than that back.
He definitely made that back and then some.
And it allowed him to go on and make Tusk.
Luch,
But again,
you're just not a horror person. Tusk
Michael Park's brilliant
Yep.
in that.
And Tusk, of course, which was started from a Craigslist ad in Birmingham. You know, that Ralph Garman, and it started as a Ralph Garman, you know, what they used to read on the podcast, they used to read random ads that they'd found, funny ads. And this was one where a guy in Birmingham said, you can live with me rent-free for a year, but you have to live as a walrus. And the guy got an exec producer credit on the film as well. But that's where that came from. And then obviously Kevin took it to the extreme. But it did introduce us to Gila Point. You know, it introduced us
to Gila Point. Again, Justin Long's back in it, being a horror king. And being turned into a walrus at the end.
Yeah, and I mean, Gila Point was originally meant to be Quentin Tarantino. Yeah. So he offered the role to Quentin Tarantino, and Tarantino read the script and was like, no, I don't want to do that. I think he thought he was going to be Michael Parks' character. And he turned it down, and he was like, I was desperate for an actor. And him and Johnny Depp, obviously the daughters went to school together, so they were friends that way, and he'd never spoken to him about that. And he said, I phoned him, I asked him if he'd be interested, I sent him the script, and he phoned me back and said yes. He goes, I love this. And then he said, he goes, I can't pay you a lot. Again, can't pay you a lot, small budget film. And he said, all you need to do is pay for my makeup artist and my travel and my accommodation. He says, you could do that, I'll do it. So he did that. And Kevin talks about that famous moment where he walks into the makeup tent, and he looks at him and he's like, holy shit, he's got a penis on his face. And it's his nose. He's got this long nose with a big bulbous ending on it. And he's just like, and Johnny Depp looks at me and goes, you like it? He goes, this is how I thought the character was going to be. And he's like, and I don't want to say anything. And then Johnny Depp goes, looks like a penis. And he was like, I think I'm going to like working with this guy. But he said at that point, there's a whole monologue that Johnny Depp does, and it's straight down the lens of the camera. It's the first time you meet the point. and straight down the lens of the camera. And he says to him, "So we're going to do this," and you're down the lens of the camera. And Johnny Depp goes, "Oh, I thought that was off camera." And he goes, "It originally was, but we've had a rethink of this is what we're going to do." And he goes, "Is that okay?" And Johnny Depp goes, "Yeah, give me 10 minutes. And this he comes out first time, bang, just nails it. Just absolutely smashed it out of the park. And he said that was the moment that he realized the difference between a good actor and a movie star. I don't say he's referencing with a movie star, but he's like, a good actor can deliver and perform, and Johnny Depp could do that. So I am excited because we see Gila Point in Yoga Hosers, and if they do Moose Jaws, I'm really excited to see more of Gila Point.
No, I agree, and I think Yoga Hosers was another really fun. Again, it's Kevin Smith kind of steering into his Kevin Smith skin, knowing his audience is going to find certain things funny. It's still a little bit more. It's almost like he's taking us back to Mallrats to a certain degree with like the Colleens and their interactions and how they have their.
It's an updated Mallrats.
It's an updated Mallrats.
It's how retail are now. It's this idea that you go into a shop now and you get served and they're sitting there and they're like, what? Like, why?
Mallrats meets Clerks.
Yeah, exactly.
Mallrats meets Clerks.
Yeah, and it's that idea where he's almost taken that and transferred it, and that's the way they are now. And then he throws in the batshit crazy B movie stuff.
And what was it? The Knott's Weenies or whatever they were called.
The Nazi sausage.
Yeah.
Bratzies.
The Bratzies. That's right.
Bratzies.
Yeah.
So fantastic. But that is that. And bearing in mind at this point he is fully smoking weed as well.
Oh yeah, he is fully. I mean that point. That is a that point. That movie is a quote that's quoted in my house very often between my wife and I, going 9, 9, 9, 9.
Just imagine the two of them having an argument. 9,
Yeah.
9, 9. Neighbors being like, "Shit, it's getting bad over there." But such like that is a stoner movie. That is the type of movie that a stoner would sit down and watch at 11 o'clock at night with all their munchies out and be like, this is bad shit.
But I could see a stoner doing the same thing with Tusk.
Oh yeah,
like
but
just so
you walk away.
This would give you a nightmare.
Yeah, I was gonna say a stoner walks away from Tusk like, whoa. Whereas a stoner walks away from Yoga Hosers like,
Yeah.
Do you know how you have those different reactions?
Yeah.
As former stoner. With very different experiences, but
very different experiences.
Still all as good. And then we return to the View Askew universe. Obviously, Jamie was
fully returned.
Phases. He cleaned up. He found himself back in a good spot, and we get Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
Which again, it's we talk about it. There are how grown up these films are, yet still having the dick and fart jokes that we all know and love. Jay's a dad.
Yeah.
To Kevin's daughter, hilarious and strange.
But you can see.
Also, it's worth noting when the movie was made, because it was made after his heart attack.
Yes.
His brush with mortality.
Yeah.
And you see that change in the movie as well.
Yeah. And I mean, it's clever because much like Strike Back, where we laugh at how it looks at Hollywood and where Hollywood's at, this does the same thing. It reflects on the fact it's called Reboot, the fact that it plays on the whole Marvel, DC, that whole Star Wars, that playing together. You can see, while he's got his old core guys back, he's bringing in the new guys. You get your Chris Jerichos, you get your Chris Hemsworths, Thor. You'd make me Thor. Like that joke is just such a childish adolescent, but brilliant.
And also I think outside of the actual film itself, that film also brought Kevin and Ben back together again.
Yes, and who was it? He was doing I saw a podcast he did the other day with somebody who does film podcast and film reviews, and it was him that had said to Ben Affleck in an interview. He said to him, they were filming Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. And he said to Ben Affleck was promoting, might be an Air or something like that, whatever he was promoting at the time. And he said to him, "Oh, I see Kevin's filming Reboot. Are you going to be involved with that?" And Ben Affleck went, "No, I've not heard anything from Kevin." He goes, "But that's the type of universe that I'd love to go back to and I'd love to revisit." And then Kevin Smith was saying that they were on set when that video got circulated and somebody was like, reach out to Ben. And he's like, I've not spoken to Ben in 8 years. Like, we've not texted in 8 years. He's like, fucking reach out to Ben. Like, and he's like, everybody on set was like, reach out to Ben and just do it. So he did. And he said, and next day, Ben Affleck's like, I'm on a flight. Let's go. So that's cool.
Yeah, and I heard that whoever it was, the podcast, the writer, whatever, had no idea that Kevin Smith and Ben Affleck hadn't spoken. It was a very innocent question.
And he asks Kevin Smith questions in every interview that he does because he's such a big Kevin Smith fan. So it's great because he actually asks Kevin Smith a question about it. And Kevin Smith replies with that story. He's like, you brought us back together. It was you, as a fan of Kevin Smith, who brought Ben Affleck back into the fold, which is cool to see. And I feel like Affleck always looks happier when he's in that shared space as well. You know?
Plus, then we got Matt Damon with one of my favorite scenes of all time, rebooting Loki and making a very clear comment that he is not Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah.
But I love that. It's just one of my favorite little parts.
But also we get confirmed that the Bourne films are also part of the VUSQ universe.
Yes.
People want to know what happened to me after Dogma. Well, let me tell you.
Reborn identity.
And that brings us then to Clerks 3.
Did it make me cry?
Yes.
Yes. Did it make me cry? Yes. Did it make Luke cry? Yes.
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 I mean,
and my wife as well.
Yeah, it's just such a good film. It's such a wholesome film, while still being in that Clerks universe. You know, still being in that.
It is. You know, it's again. I think, and again, I loved it because, like I said about Clerks 2, it's them both realizing how much they've enjoyed their life together. Now Randall gets that idea of I want to have something tangible, or I'm gonna leave my mark, and that's gonna be making this movie. And then obviously what happened to Dante happened to Dante. That hit me for a loop. It was an M Night Shyamalan twist I didn't expect.
Which is interesting because you sort of get the impression that for me it was Jay and Silent Bob, it was Kevin Smith and Jay Mewes. It was a reflection of that, and you always assumed that Jay Mewes was going to go first because of his past and his habits. You always thought that maybe that was the case, and you sort of got that feel with Randall. If it was going to be anybody, it was going to be Randall because he pushed somebody too far, and you know,
right.
That's how it was going to go. So the fact that it wasn't and it was Dante, you were just like, oh shit, and that's referencing what you said before, Mallory. You know, he was Kevin Smith facing his own mortality. Maybe it will be me first. Maybe it's that that sort of thing. And a great end to the trilogy. I just hope it doesn't go back now.
No.
No, I think that's it.
Yeah. I mean,
and listen, now that he has a good relationship with the person that has the rights to Dogma, he wants to do Dogma 2. We'll see if it actually finally happens.
Return of the Mallrats.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
You know, he has other things he can expand upon.
Yeah, and I think like Mallrats is probably and I suppose Dogma 2 is limited by access to Matt and Ben. Yeah. When are they free to do it? And I know they've got their own production company and stuff, and I know he spent a lot of time with them. The other day, was he not promoting the vegan hummus?
Yeah, the vegan hummus, which Ben had said he really enjoys.
Yeah, it was Kevin and Harley, wasn't it? They were filming a video. Yeah. It was like they shoved the camera in Ben's face and they were like, "Tell us about it. Tell us how good it is. Tell us." It was like really. So
it was like, it's actually really fucking good.
Yeah. I suppose. Whereas Moose Jaws, we can play in a different universe. I suppose you can get away with doing in between.
So I had
We've not finished.
Question for you, huh?
We've not finished. Is it about Clerks 3?
No.
Well, we got the 4:30 movie to discuss.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about the 4:30 movie, which is brilliant.
Never seen it.
I was going to say, you've not seen it. I knew you'd not seen it. It's fucking good.
It's really
good. Really, really good. Like, cool, wholesome, fun. Right in that, what was that 80s show? I know Kevin directed some of the episodes. Their sitcom with a family.
Oh, the Connors?
No. No, it's a recent one. And the kid wants to be a filmmaker.
Oh, it's killing me.
Was the movie? Is it the show with Martha Plimpton?
The Goldbergs.
The Goldbergs. I thought it was the Connors, the Goldbergs.
Yeah,
The Goldbergs.
it's right in that sort of arena, and it really captures that sort of heartwarming, that teen era, falling in love for the first time, having a
mid
shot.
90s.
Yeah.
You know, it's a period piece.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it is.
I mean,
and the actors, the kids they got in that.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant.
And it's clearly biographical. Like, for
Oh,
me,
yeah.
it's a biographical thing of Kevin
It is.
falling in love with cinema. He thinks he's falling in love with a girl, but he's falling in love with cinema. And it's that's for me, that's part of what you get through this 4:30 movie as well. I really enjoyed it. It was really something fresh, and it still has those occasional moments where you get those Kevin lines where you're like, oh yeah, it's a Kevin Smith film.
No, that is another one where, you know, I do own it now. I bought the Blu-ray because why not?
What
You know what I mean?
what collection is complete without it, right?
No, it's not. I mean, like, I'm not going to pretend that I have all of Kevin's catalog in physical media, because I don't.
Yeah.
In full transparency. But when he re-released Dogma, I was right on that to buy that on Blu-ray. Same thing with, you know, the 4:30 movie, because, you know, you want to support these. You know, I want to support them. I want to get more from that industry. But you're right. You're right. I forgot about 4:30 movie, and it was really, really good. It was one of the. I actually think I went and saw that in the movie theater.
Nice. I mean, what I forgot to say about Dogma was during that period where you couldn't get Dogma, I was going to charity shops and actively looking for copies of Dogma on DVD, and then shipping them around the world. Like, I walked into a shop in Edinburgh and I found a Canadian version of it, and I put it on one of the Kevin Smith group things, saying, "Hey, I've got a Canadian version of Dogma. Who wants it?" And I mean, people were hunting for it. At one point, it was like 50 quid to buy a DVD of Dogma on eBay, because there were so few of them.
Same thing with Red State.
Yeah.
Same thing with Red State.
I was just going
That's why I have my copy of Dogma, is because you found an American one in a charity shop and you gave it to me.
Yeah. And I mean, I think I've got Red State on Blu-ray, and I think I've got it on Blu-ray because of Blockbuster.
I have it. I had it on. I have it on DVD.
Mine's X-Rental. Mine is definitely X-Rental.
Yeah.
Like, that's what's crazy about it. So, yeah. Okay, so you had a question for us.
I did. So, you know, looking at all of his movies that he directed, and I'm going to throw a little bit of an asterisk in here for movies that maybe he did not direct, but was involved with in some way. Is there a movie that, if you could take over a character and be that character, what would be your favorite one to do? I have an idea of what Max's is.
Mine. You know mine. Mallory, you go first.
I don't even know, because I don't think I do as good of a job as any of them.
I mean, you're Miri, right?
Or you know what?
I'll
throw another option in there. Maybe not be in the movie, but be involved in the production of it. Like, just be a person who's just watching all of this insanity unfold.
Oh, I would have wanted to be there for Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. I would have loved to have watched all of that in real time.
I mean, I'd love to have been there for Clerks, because I think that had just been insane. Like, that whole experience, seeing that work out. If I was to be a character, Randall every time.
Yeah, Randall every time.
The amount of times that I just wanted to just fucking go off on customers when I was serving customers. Yeah, absolutely. Like, just Randall. Just he's my. I mean, if I had a saint, patron, if there was what is the word I'm looking for? If there was a saint of retail, it should be Randall Graves.
Absolutely.
He should be the person that shows up and looks after people and looks after those in retail by absolutely going off on all of the customers. Just absolutely that. I had a few moments. I remember the Wanted one, where the guy brought Wanted, the film, the comic book, until he moved back. And he was just like, this film, I jumped all the way through. My daughter's watching it for a party, blah, 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 blah. And we never even got to see the end. And I just had one of those days. And I was like, oh, So he pulls a gun out and then he shoots it, but he like turns his wrist and does that thing, and the bullet goes right the way around. Oh, she does. Angelina Jolie goes right the way around and kills everybody in the circle, and then kills her. And he just stands there like that. I was like, "We're not even seen the end." Not dealing with this. Not dealing with this. Not today. Not today. Luch, what would the question be for you? Well, the answer.
To probably be a part of, or just like, even if it's not in the movie, just a part of it, it probably would be Chasing Amy for me.
Yeah.
But one of my favorite Kevin Smith movies is not one that he wrote or directed, he acted in, and that is
Die Hard 4.
No. No, Max, you know the movie.
Yeah.
Catch and Release.
Yeah, I was going to say, so the one with Jennifer Garner, where when Jennifer Garner was with Ben Affleck, and he phoned Ben and he's like, "Yo, I don't think Jennifer likes me. I just told her this joke and she did not like it." And he's like, "Dude, know your fucking audience."
Yeah. But I think he just plays a really fun character in that movie. I don't know. That is the movie where, like, if I'm not feeling well or just want something that's, even though it's kind of sad at some points, it's also endearing and stuff. I don't know. It's just one of my favorite movies.
We totally forgot Jay and Silent Bob's super groovy cartoon movie.
Yeah. I'm in full transparency, haven't seen that one.
It's good.
So
It's just,
I have not.
but it's the Jay Muse, isn't it? Jay Muse led the charge on that.
Yes, he led
Kevin,
that one.
I've got an idea, and I want to make it as this, and Kevin was like, "Let's go for it."
By the way,
yeah,
proof.
That looks like a Walmart bargain bin buy.
It 100% is.
Yeah, or Best Buy, like where you go in and they've got that thing, and you're like, "Pfft."
Actually, I think it was Walmart. Actually,
yeah. And like, it's funny. I'm looking here at the voice work he did. He's in TMNT. He's in a lot of the Marvel stuff. He does Lego Batman, the Marvel Experience. He's MODOK, the voice of MODOK. He was in. We watched something here, Lego Marvel thing the other day here, and I was just like, "It's Kevin Smith." You know, we just hear a voice, and you're like, "That's Kevin Smith."
Yeah, you know.
Yeah. Madness is the Method, or Madness in the Method. Have you seen that one?
Mm-mm.
So that's the Jay Muse one. So it's directed by Jay Muse, and starring Jay Muse. It's got Vinnie Jones in it, and Danny Trejo, and a bunch of other people. But it's that sort of meta type one where Jay's like, "I really want to be respected as an actor, and I want to be thought of as a good actor." And Danny Trejo's like, "You need this book," and it's like the holy book of acting or whatever, and it's like, if you get the book and read the book, you become the world's best actor type of thing. But no, Kevin Smith makes an appearance in that as Kevin. It's quite a funny scene, but that's quite a good one as well. So my question is, if you were to say to somebody, "You've not seen a Kevin Smith movie," what would you recommend?
Dogma.
Again, I think you have to know your audience with that one.
But I mean, I feel like everybody that I hang out with would appreciate Dogma. I'm not recommending Dogma to, like,
I think Dogma's a good shout, because it doesn't matter what your audience is. It's got big Hollywood actors, so it'll keep people engaged. It's funny. It's like it encapsulates a lot of things. Whereas some of the other stuff, like, you wouldn't be able to go yoga hoses, because that's when you need to know your audience for. Yeah. You, Luch.
I you know what? I feel like I've said it 3 times today, but I'd say it again. It's going to be Chasing Amy.
Yeah.
I just think the script is fantastic. I think Joy Lawrence Adams is phenomenal. Again, yeah, that's it. I think that might be my number one. As much as I love Jay and Silent Bob, as much as I love, but they're in it too, and again, iconic in that. I think it is. I think it is my favorite Kevin Smith movie.
All right, I'd probably go with either of those two. I think knowing the audience helps. If you know that they're not full on funny, then Chasing Amy. If you know that they're really religious, then Dogma. Other than that, that's what I love about Dogma, is it challenges the theories and the ideas that we've all been brought up on with religion, and it's clever, and it's not just about Catholicism; it's about all religions. It's that. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. But if I was to choose my number one Kevin Smith film, I think it's got to be the one that burst my cherry. it's Mallrats.
That's a great movie.
I mean, that is a good shout. Mallrats is probably 3 on my list, and the only reason why it's 3 is because I have to give credit where credit's due to the first Clerks. So for me, I think it's probably Chasing Amy, Clerks, and Mallrats. But you could I honestly, depending upon the day, any one of those 3 could be subverted for number 1, 2. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, depending on what kind of mood I'm in.
Yeah, absolutely. Mallory, number 1 with a bullet.
Dogma.
Yeah.
Dogma. But then I think 2 and 3 get tied between Mallrats and Strike Back.
Okay.
Again, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Mallrats, and it's one of those ones where when you're scoring them, it'd be like a 9.8, 9.79, 9.78, 9.77. And as Luke said, depending on the day,
Right.
depending on what you're in the mood for. Right. It's one of those. Right. Well,
There we go.
There we go. That was episode 37.
In a row.
Kevin, we love you. The reason that we sit here and talk today is because of you. Whether that's why we started a podcast or the fact that we actually sat down as nerds together and talked about your films. Thank you very much for bringing us together. I'm sure our audience will say, why the fuck would you do that? Please stop. But in the meantime...
we also all went to the Dudley Do-Right Museum together.
We did. And we've done the secret stash. You know, we've had our pilgrimage. We've had those moments.
We have.
This is from the secret stash.
There you go.
This is from geekyjerseys.com. Thank you.
Yeah, I said to Luke, I don't think any of my stuff would fit me anymore, which means the next time I come over, we've got to do another trip down to the stash. Maybe tie it in. Now he owns a movie theater. Maybe we tie it in with a movie theater.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think my final comment for the podcast, ladies and gentlemen, is no pleasure, no rapture, no exquisite sin greater than central air as we approach summer.
So true. It's so true. Well, thank you very much for listening. Please like and subscribe and share with Kevin Smith, because we'd love to have him on the podcast as a guest. That'd be wonderful.
Tag him.
Yeah,
tag him.
But yes, thanks very much for listening. Like, subscribe, do all of the wonderful jazz. I was Matt.
I was Luch.
I was Mallory.
Berserker.
Matt.